I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do, so this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now. There is no escape." "Hee-chan," Misha starts. "It looks like we're together again. Yay, yay!" Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. Shizune starts signing. "What's wrong, Hee-chan?" "Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you?" "It's okay, Hee-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right?" "Right." Ha 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 ha! I'm so happy you two are able to have a laugh at my expense, I think, and even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only 2 problems. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. I start, "Hey, that girl over there." "Huh? Who, Hee-chan?" "Her, Hanako, over there. Does she always work alone?" "I think so, Hee-chan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone?" "I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something." No, I don't think that would be a good idea, Hee-chan." "Well, why not?" "Shi-chan wouldn't get along with her." "Why?" Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but still has that lilting up and down quality present in everything she says. "Just because, Hee-chan." By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation, and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she's been saying this whole time. Shizune signs back. "What, Shi-chan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that." "You said it anyway," I remind her. "I know, Hee-chan. It's fine if you overheard." I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand a thing Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there's never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Shizune begins signing. "Anyway, we should start on the problems now, Hee-chan." We finish with time to spare, and I decide to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food so far has been subpar. This ends Shizune and Misha arguing among themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder toward the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks, the one with actual boxed lunches mixed in and chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels like I'm the only one who can see her, almost as if she were invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder toward the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I've started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. What to do? Misha and Shizune are still arguing about their choice for lunch place. Incomprehensible for a pair of high school students who have to take a taxi at least to make it downtown and back in time. Haven't you finished already, I ask? Oh, sorry, Hee-chan, were you waiting for us? Shizune signs. You don't have any plans? Plans, I ask? For lunch? Well, I don't, so I thought I could hang with you guys. Misha smiles victoriously at my lack of plans and excitedly translates my response to Shizune. She happily signs back. If you don't have anything specific planned out, do you want to eat lunch with me and Shi-chan? We're going to go into town for lunch, though. Don't worry, Hee-chan, it's not that far. Sure, I say, I'll come with you. And with that, we leave the classroom. Just around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a runaway train. Ouch! Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down into the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Or she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Aw, man! Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going, and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She's looking really apologetic in the hurt puppy dog way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. It's okay, I say. Don't worry about it. Ouch. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself, don't forget to take your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. It seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds dumbfounded, until I realize that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need, I'm fine, I tell her. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time, and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me, big time, but it's nothing more than that. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay, I said I was fine and nothing's broken, no harm done. That's good. I feel a hand on my shoulder at the same time the girl's eyes widen in horror, and whatever she was saying gets interrupted by a very horrified eep. I don't have time to look behind me because Shizune is already shoving me aside and stomping over to the girl, signing furiously at her. Miss Ibarazaki, I saw that. Running in the halls is strictly forbidden. Misha translates right on Shizune's tail, but her voice is girlishly playful, not full of the divine fury Shizune's arm movements would seem to call for. Sorry, I was just going to get some stuff, and I was in kind of a hurry. Shizune continues signing angrily. You've been told this 1,000 times before. Your reckless behavior endangers other students, and even worse, is explicitly against school regulations. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute I find myself smiling. I know that, I was just... Shizune continues. Make sure that this will not happen again, although I'm sure telling you this is futile and only causes me further headache when you choose to ignore the regulations. Got that, Emmy? The small girl sticks her tongue out in response. I gotta go. Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I've got to go change and everything. Before Misha or Shizune or I can say anything, she's already bolted from where she was a second ago, almost halfway toward the stairwell. Shizune looks like she's about to go nuclear on the spot, so I smile at her in a vain attempt to calm her down. She continues signing. Are you okay, Hichan? That Ibarazaki girl is always like that, causing trouble to others. I answer her back. You know, I'm pretty certain Shizune wouldn't call me Hichan. Never mind, never mind. Yeah, anyway, I'm okay. Just got the wind knocked out of me. Shizune signs. That's great, Hichan. I wouldn't call that great, but I let it slide this one time. So, let's hurry, Hichan, to have lunch. We promise it'll be great. I'll take your word for it, I say. What kind of place is it? A restaurant or something? Shizune answers. It's a tea house, Hichan. A tea house? That sounds kind of fancy. Shizune continues signing. Why are you looking at your wallet, Hichan? It's okay. If you don't have any money, we'll cover for you. That's really nice of you. Thanks, I say. It's okay, Hichan. After all, we're friends, right, Hichan? It's only been 3 days. Are we really friends that quickly? Heh, but hearing that makes me happy. Shizune continues. It's only for today, though, and only if you accept right now. Do you want to go, Hichan? I start wondering if this is some kind of trap. Is this Misha's suggestion or Shizune's? This is important. I'm still a little apprehensive about the possible motives of a girl whose favorite pastime is the game of world domination. No, I'm just being paranoid. Actually, they have grown on me already, and I do have to go to town sometime. So why not now with them? I've never actually been to a tea house before. All my expectations are from what I've seen about them on TV. But those are period dramas, and these are modern times. It might just be a regular cafe, and they're just calling it a tea house. Either way, I'm curious about that too, so there's another reason for me to join them. Sure, I answer. That's great, Hee-chan! That's great! That's great! Yay! Misha hops up and down briefly to show how happy she is, which causes a few heads to turn toward us. Shizune opts for a polite tiny clap that lasts for all of 2 seconds before she goes back to looking stoic as usual. Would it kill you to be a little happier, Shizune? I ask her. She signs back. Oh, I wasn't aware that Hee-chan was a king. Ha 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 ha! Shizune pushes her glasses up as Misha delivers her message totally without sarcasm. I guess it would sting more if she could say it with the intent Shizune meant behind it. So for once, I'm happy to have Misha as a barrier between us. I'm not telling you to jump for joy just because I'm having lunch with you, I reply. I'm not that arrogant. She seems to accept this, and we head to town with Shizune leading the way. Watching her walk in front of me, I notice that she walks very quickly, taking long, heavy, determined strides. Maybe if we were traveling through a snowstorm, it would make sense to walk like that, but it's a perfectly clear day. Anyway, it's making me feel exhausted just watching her. We arrive at the tea house in what Misha says is record time, likely because of Shizune's blazing pace. I feel a little let down seeing that it's not a huge feudal-era building with mats on the floor and women in kimonos pouring the tea. It actually is more like a cafe, as I thought. Not that that's a bad thing, it looks very nice. As soon as I walk through the door, someone zooms in front of us, as if they had been lying in wait the entire time. Welcome! Thank you for patronizing this establishment. The top half of her body drops forward in a bow that looks like an axe chopping through wood. I'm surprised to see it's none other than Yuko, the librarian. Hey, I didn't know you work here, I said. Oh, yes I do. I'm a waitress. I've been working here for 1 year, 6 months, and 2 weeks now. Thank you for choosing to come here. Is there anything I can do for you? Hi, Yu-chan. Hello. Misha, you both know her too? Of course, Hee-chan. Yu-chan works at the library after all. I don't go there often myself, but Shi-chan knows her, and we both come here a lot, so it's like we see her all the time. Yes. Should I get you your usuals, and if there is anything you would want, please feel free to tell me at any time. You don't have to be so formal, I tell her. We all know each other. It's also pretty empty today, so she can afford to take it easy. I was hoping she would stop looking so nervous, but my words have the opposite effect. No, I'm a waitress. This is my job. I have to do it properly. Shizune signs. Okay, that works for Shi-chan. Yu-chan, please get Shi-chan what she usually gets, and I'll have some green tea with milk and honey. No pressure, I say. Yes, but this is my job, and there is always pressure. I'm sorry, I'm arguing with a customer. Sorry. Yuko takes another 100-mile-per-hour bow. I decide to give up and join Shizune and Misha at a table. As soon as I sit down, Yuko comes by looking even more upset than before. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I forgot to take your order. I'm not attentive to customers. That's not right. I'm sorry. If there's anything I can do to make up for it, please tell me. Shizune signs. It's okay, Yu-chan. Hee-chan didn't order anything, so it's not your fault. Don't be upset. It's true, I guess I should order now, but I don't really know what this place serves, and there doesn't seem to be a menu. Yeah, she's right, I said. I'll have some coffee and a sandwich if you have one. Whichever sandwich you think is the best tasting one here, because Shizune is paying for my meal. Shizune frowns and gives me alternating looks of surprise, indignation, and bemusement, unable to decide between the three. She begins signing. Hee-chan, just how much money do you have in your wallet? It can't be that little, right? Right? We should split the cost 3 ways to make it fair. Yeah, I won't accept anything else. Misha turns to Yuko. Yu-chan, Shi-chan says she wants 3 of whatever is the most expensive item on the menu. No, I say. Ha ha ha, just kidding, Hee-chan. Okay, I think that the turkey sandwich is the most delicious sandwich, and it comes with free soup. A good employee would try to recommend the item that there is the most of, though, or the most expensive item. Am I bad at my job? No, I assure her. That sounds good. I'll have that. And some coffee. Okay. She comes back a few minutes later with our drinks and my sandwich. Shizune seems to be fine with just her tea, and Misha also ordered a parfait. I don't know why, because I can't imagine many other things that would go worse with tea. Oh well, I take a bite out of my sandwich. It's very good. Shizune signs. Hee-chan, have you thought about joining the student council? Huh? I reply. She continues. Don't talk with your mouth full, Hee-chan. I wash my food down with a sip of coffee, which is also surprisingly good. But now's not the time to remark on how this place has good food. I ask her, you said you understood it was too early to expect me to make a decision this quickly. That was like 3 hours ago. Shizune signs. A man should be decisive, Hee-chan. She continues. You really should join the student council, Hee-chan. Come on, it'll be fun. I reply to her, people always say, come on, it'll be fun about things that are never, ever fun. Shizune answers, don't you believe me, Hee-chan? Is it Shizune saying that or Misha? What a cute expression, but the effect is somewhat jarring, like she has split personalities. I say. Shizune continues signing. Hee-chan, that's depressing. We just want to spend time with you. She continues. That's right, Shi-chan. Yeah, that's a good point, too. Yep, this is beneficial to everyone. It solves all our problems. Shizune continues. Yeah, I also thought Hee-chan would appreciate it. That makes me sad. Suddenly, I feel rather left out. It's rude to talk about someone without letting them in on the conversation, I tell them. Shizune adjusts her glasses, laughing to herself. Aw, but it's true, Hee-chan, and you would be helping us out. Membership has been really low this year. How low, I ask her. Ah, that's a secret, Hee-chan. No, I want to know how low it was. How low is low? Ah! 5, I ask. Shizune signs. Lower, I say. Well, 0, I ask. Shizune signs. Wah, Hee-chan, that isn't important. What matters is that the number is low, and that is why we would appreciate you giving us a hand, especially with the festival coming up so soon and it looking to be a busy year ahead in general. I don't let her off the hook. So, you're not going to answer my question? Shizune signs. No. I sigh and straighten up in my chair, trying to look as defiant as possible because this seems like a big issue, and I do not want to let it go that easily. I feel silly, like a blowfish. Fine, I say. At least tell me this. How many people are in the student council? Total. Shizune signs. Well, Hee-chan, we're definitely undermanned, but we have enough members to get the job done. Yep. It's not just the 2 of you, is it? I ask. Ha ha ha! Hee-chan, that's funny. Shizune signs. But it's definitely not just us. Are you sure, I say? Are you absolutely sure? Yep. I stare at them both, trying to see if they will slip up and confirm my worst fears. Misha frowns, looking uncomfortable, but that is probably because I'm staring at her. Shizune, on the other hand, returns my gaze with one of her own. Maybe she's challenging me, peering at me over the rims of her glasses like that. So teasing and surprisingly immature, like a little girl beckoning someone to play with her. She begins signing. Hee-chan, your two cute student council representatives have been trying to make you feel welcome and are even treating you to lunch. You should show your gratitude by joining the council so you can at least help them out. Yeah, it would be great if you would just file some papers for us, and the festival is coming up and we have to build some stalls for the games and food, just a few, so if you were there it would be a lot easier for us. Please, Hee-chan? What an interesting good cop, bad cop routine. I'll give it a shot, why not? Just a shot. Okay, I tell them, I'll give it a trial run. It doesn't mean I'm joining or anything definite, just that I'll help out a little and then I'll see. And this makes us even for lunch. I'm not doing this because I want to. I finish off the last of my sandwich and this makes Misha notice for the first time in a while that she has a parfait. She begins digging in, much to Shizune's chagrin, because I can tell from the way she plays with her fingers that she has a lot to say. Every time I look at Shizune, she looks back with such focus and intensity. This time is no exception. Her face is expressionless. Maybe she's thinking. Eventually it gives way to a smile. She begins to sign. She signs something, and obviously I can't understand it at all. She has to know that. Then she does it again, a childish playfulness showing through in the speed and energy of her gestures. Misha, I ask, what did she say? Misha looks up from her parfait, torn between wanting to help out and going back to eating. What does this mean? I try my best to make the same movements with my hands that Shizune did. I come to realize quickly that this isn't very easy. Imagine doing this all day as your only means of communication. Sorry, Hee-chan, I can't tell you. Why not, I say, is it an insult? No, Hee-chan, I can't tell you because it means something nice. Something nice, huh? Well, they've gone back to their tea and food, so I guess this conversation is over for now. I don't really understand, but this makes me wish that I could. Maybe I could even try learning sign language. This school might have courses for it. Would I really do that? I think about it as I finish the rest of my coffee. I wonder why I'd even be motivated to think about it. I'm enjoying myself so much that I don't even notice that we were supposed to be back in class 10 minutes ago. Even if I were to start heading back to school right now, it would take at least 30 minutes? Maybe? I can't risk running fast with my condition, so it would take at least that long to get there. Well, 10 minutes late already as I am, it wouldn't matter even if I could teleport. Something wrong, Hee-chan? I answer her, yeah, I just realized lunch break ended 10 minutes ago. It's only my third day and I'm already going to miss a class. Shizune signs. Yep, you are already late. Hey, that's not funny, so are you two, I say. And aren't you two in the student council? You're setting a bad example. Hee-chan is so moral. Shizune signs. But Hee-chan is right. He is late for class. And it looks like you're cutting too, Hee-chan, because you're not making an effort to go. As your student council representatives, we're going to have to do something about this and make sure you're punished for it. But you two dragged me out here and this is all your fault. Take responsibility, I say. Shizune continues. Hee-chan, we were just taking a prospective student council member out to try and recruit him. It's business. But you're not a member of the council, so there's no excuse. Yes, there is, I answer. That prospective student council member is clearly me. Shizune signs. Yes, are you going to join the student council, Hee-chan? Shizune raises her teacup haughtily and wags her outstretched pinky finger up and down. Hee-chan, if only you were a member of the student council. But you can still join now, Hee-chan. If you join now, you won't be in any trouble at all, and we'll be able to take many more nice excursions like this all the time. It'll be fun. I start to think that maybe this was all an elaborate setup leading up to this moment. Maybe Shizune lured me out here, banking on the possibility that I'd lose track of time and be forced into this situation. Diabolical. Well, considering what I know about her, I should have been more on my guard. But to admit that I got myself into this, even slightly, would be unforgivable. I try to read Shizune's intentions in her eyes, but she just returns my stare blankly, innocently. She takes a sip of tea like she's mocking me. She begins to sigh. By the way, Hee-chan, I didn't plan this at all. Things just happened to work out this way. I was almost about to drop my theory as paranoia, but this puts a new spin on things. I almost fall over in awe. So it really was an elaborate setup from the very beginning, all just to burn me and force me to join the student council. She continues. Ah, you look so nervous, Hee-chan. Did you really think we were tricking you this whole time? You're not, I ask. Hee-chan, you really thought? Misha frowns, looking very heartbroken. Shizune quickly frowns as well, following her lead. How synchronized, two of a perfect pair. They must be twins. Shizune signs. Shi-chan says she's flattered Hee-chan, but doing that kind of thing would be a grossly inappropriate abuse of power and imposing on your free will. And it would be blackmail, too. Shi-chan would never do anything like that. Never. I think about asking Misha, are you sure, but resist the urge to. Shizune continues. Anyway, Hee-chan, what Shi-chan said is true. Since you're with us and we're doing student council work, it's okay if we miss a class or two. Shizune signs. Not that this is a good excuse to do so. And continues. Or one that should be used more than 3 times a month. Or something that can or should be abused. So, we must definitely return to class. Eventually. Shizune waves Yuko over and points to her empty teacup, indicating that she wants another one, as Misha scrambles to finish her parfait so she can order something else. Maybe I should as well. I'm still hungry, and the portions here are a little on the small side. Most importantly, Shizune is paying for everything. With that in mind, I ask Yuko for another sandwich. By the time we leave the tea shop, I've missed not just 1 class, but 2. Shizune and Misha seem content to let the whole day pass by, stalling for even more time by suggesting a tour of the town that turns out to cover a 2-block radius from where we start. All right, the next day has started. We are back in class, and we are working in a group with Misha and Shizune again. As we do that, the lunch break comes, and we have another crucial decision here. We can wait for Shizune and Misha to come to a decision about where we're going to eat. I can just sit there and decide to stay in the class and read my book, or I could go talk to Hanako. This in particular is one of the first places in which your points really matter, because you have to have 2 or more points with Shizune in order to get the Shizune and Misha option. You have to have 2 or more points with Lily and Hanako to get the Hanako option. And if you don't have enough points with either one of them, your only choice is to sit there and read your book. And as you can probably predict, waiting for Shizune and Misha gives you a point down the Shizune path. Going over and talking to Hanako gives you a point down the Hanako and Lily path, and reading your book is neutral and doesn't give you points with anyone. Having decided to go to lunch with Misha and Shizune, we move out into the hall where we run into, or more literally, are run into by, Amy. Amy, the fastest thing on no legs. As I've said before, this is the introduction to yet another one of the girls we can date and follow down the path of. And as I've said before, she is definitely tied in my heart between her and Hanako. They are definitely my 2 favorites as far as personality, and my 2 favorites as far as the path that you take with them. Our collision with Amy almost throws us into a cardiac event again, and after getting a very well-deserved chewing out by Shizune, the three of us go down the hill to the village at the bottom and go into the Shanghia, the tea house slash cafeteria down there that figures very prominently in all 5 of the paths that you can go down. There we find out that our waitress is Yuko, the young lady who is also working as the librarian at the school up at the top of the hill. So whenever she talks about how she wishes she could quit her job up there and the fact that she is so underpaid, she may not just be griping and may have a legitimate point. We got our drinks and our food, and we sit there for a while Shizune once again tries to coerce me into joining the student council. Finally, I agree that, okay, I will give them a hand and help them out, although I won't be joining them, that I would just lend a hand and show my school spirit and help out 2 cute girls that I like hanging out with. That decision having been made, they then take me on a short little tour of the town before we head back to class and the next episode.